Ghana's central bank last week left its policy rate at 14.5%, citing a need for macroeconomic stability despite a slowdown brought on by the coronavirus pandemic. Ghana's economy, which relies on natural resources like cocoa, gold and oil, is expected to grow in 2020 at its slowest rate in nearly 40 years, leading the government to announce a $17.4 billion support program during a mid-year budget review by the Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta. Well, joining us now is the managing partner at Bespoke Business Consulting in Accra, Ghana, Jonh Kennedy. Hello, John. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Now, give us a general overview of the current state of Ghana's economy.
Well, I would say that the Ghanaian economy is rebounding gradually, but in a slow motion mode. When I mean slow motion, because it's very slow at this point. Currently, we are faced a few challenges. The inflation from last quarter is up about 3.2%. That's from 7.8% to 11.2%. When you see the price hike as well, from last quarter to this quarter is from like 8.4% to 13.9%. And then on food, inflation rate is from 7.8% to 9.2%. So with this kind of ratios, it's very, very difficult to say the economy is actually growing, but I'm sure it's actually growing in a very slow motion mode at this point.
Now, the Bank of Ghana at its last Monetary Policy Committee meeting left its rate unchanged at 14.5%, citing a need for macroeconomic stability. But what was most important for you in the decisions reached by the committee members?
The most important thing is that they are able to recognize that there's a bit of a challenge, a residual financial gap and a rising inflation. When I said a residual financial gap, I mean that there are gaps in which they need financial inputs, and there's been a revenue underperformance in the economy, which means that the Ghana Revenue Authority are not able to meet up with their demand to obtain revenue, so that the government can be able to do certain projects and help finance the COVID-19 issues. However, there's a rising inflation as well. The rising inflation is as a result of mostly panic buying by people in Ghana because of the rise in price of goods and services. And this has become a real challenge. So the government being able to recognize this, actually decide to put the MPC rate at that same point so that they can be able to manage how the economy moves for the next quarter.
Well, we know that Ghana has been hit with a double shock, a health pandemic and, of course, a global economic recession. The finance minister, during his mid-year budget review, projected a new fiscal deficit of about 11.4% due to a deep revenue shortfall and, of course, unanticipated extra spending. He announced a $17.4 billion support program. What is your take in all of these?
Well, my take in all of this is that I'm not sure if it's the 17 billion is in dollars, probably it's in cedis, because the main question is how are you going to fund this? Where are you going to get this funding from? Because currently our debt stock is almost 70% of GDP, and the current deficit is about $660 million to like 1% of GDP. So it's very, very tricky to understand how the government will get this funding. Even if you are trying to go out for a roadshow to get this funding, every nation is trying to scramble for funds with IMF and World Bank. So it's very, very difficult to get this funding. The only place you can get this funding to buttress the need to spend in the economy right now is to go through the local funding channel. However, even the Treasury bill rate has fallen from 15% to 40% within the last 6 months. So it's something that it's laudable, but it's a very difficult thing to be able to get the funding they need to push things in the right direction in the Ghanaian economy.
In all of these, what is the outlook for Ghana's economy?
Well, the outlook it's not really, really encouraging. I'm sure it will still continue to rebound very, very slowly because we are in election here. Election is in December. There will be a lot of spending. This also affects inflation because when there's so much money out there, it will also affect spending as well. So it will increase the level of inflation. There will be slow recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic because right now they need to scramble funds from other budgetary allocations to cater for the COVID-19 spending. So looking at how the economy is right now, I'm sure that the MPC will have to convey in the next quarter to bring down the policy rate to like 13.8%, because people actually need funding to do so many things at this point in time.
We'll hold you to that, and let's just hope that happens eventually. Thank you very
All
much,
right.
John Kennedy, for your time.
Thank you.